Hello, SNA Assassinators. It happened once again, like the AEW Dynamite review video. It cut me right off, like in the middle, like towards the end of my review video. Even though I guess I passed my limit. Even though I was almost done making this review, it just cut right off, and I had to make a second clip version of this review video. So I'm back here to talk more about the final touch. I'll say the final match of the night, which is the 10 women tag match. And before we get into the that match on the talk about the vignette with Nikita Lyons, admit that it was her that attacked Adriana Rizzo, which we all figured that out even before Adriana Rizzo pointed out that it was Nikita Lyons. And she even admit that she did wasn't Obafemi a favor to take her out, like to help him out, help him out, like taking care of the D'Angelo family, like to make sure it's only just him and Tony, like at NXT Battle Halloween Havoc. But unfortunately for him, it did not end it that way. Like with the D'Angelo family, like manages to get D'Angelo family got the upper hand on the Nigerian ruler, and this is where then the Lola Vice, I mean not Lola Vice, talking about Nikita Lyons. I said like and I did it because like every time I make a return, like I'm always the one getting attacked, and that's true. Like and that's very unfortunate, and even as much as I'm not a fan of Nikita Lyons, nor like not really ready to see her as a heel, like, but she does make a good point, and every time she does make a return, that she always have to get attacked from behind, like due to injuries, like that she has to have to recover, like, and it always takes her over a year just to heal up. Like, and it all started like ever since 2022, and then she had the and then once she got back from her injuries in 2023, she gets back right on the shelf right after she makes a return. But now it's 2024, and it seems like everything's getting better for her, and maybe this heel turn would be good for her, perfect for her, like to give her that breath of fresh air, and like them telling the story, like every time, like every time she always make a return, she always gets ambushed by somebody. If it's not from one women's wrestler, it's from another. And then now, like she's like, and she that's when she realized, like in order to make it in here, like she's gotta do everything for herself, and have to what they call it, like have to take you have to claim everything that's hers, even if it isn't hers, by doing meaning means necessary, by playing bending the rules a bit in order to get some desired success, like that she's dying to achieve in her time in NXT and overall in WWE, of course. And it's where then she challenged her in the fight next week, in which that's been scheduled by Ava and kayfabe, of course. But yeah, like and that's where they advertised that we will be seeing Adriana Rizzo versus Nikita Lyons, along with Kalani Jordan getting a rematch against Fatal Influences. What's her name? Fallon Henley. What's her name? Ava finally giving her what she wants, like which is a rematch to get a shot at the NXT Women's North American Championship. We're probably seeing it her way because she really didn't have a fair chance of trying to retain her women's championship, and that's only fair for her to get a rematch. Even though WWE these days do not do automatic rematches, but I think this was the best decision WWE has ever made. Just to give her one more shot for the championship, even if she doesn't lose. I guess this is like I was on her. Like this old saying, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me." And let's hope that Nikita does not get, or not Nikita, Kalani does not get fooled again. But let's move on to the match, but you got every woman that came out of their entrances, like which we already got the heels out. That's where then the baby faces did the same, but it started off with I believe Fallon Henley and Stephanie Vaquer, but when she took her down. But once he tagged in Jasmine Nix, this is where Jasmine Nix's face was getting hit with the head scissor maneuver that Stephanie Vaquer always does to her opponents, no matter what promotion she's wrestling for. This is where Vaquer then raised up her head. This is where she tags in what's her name, Julia. This is where they double Irish whip Jasmine Nix to the left side, to the right side. This is where they go for a sliding duck. This is where she go for a leapfrog. This is where we got what's her name? Julia then trips over Jasmine Nix to the right quarter side. We got Stephanie Vaquer hits a 609 glide kick. This is where we got what's her name? Then Julia did a double drop kick like another Japanese women's wrestler that's currently wrestling for WWE, which I believe that is a certain genius up in the sky. But this is where we got. This is where we got the both former New Japan Strong Women's Champions to grab each other's hands, go for a double elbow drop right onto Jasmine. This is where Jasmine kicked out at 2.2. This is where then Julia was like, all right, like no matter, like this is where did you try to go for like some kind of a suplex slash combination of a body slam Falcon Arrow, but this is where Jasmine Nix flipped right out. But she ends up getting headbutt by her. This is where then she landed right into the top left corner side. This is where Roxanne Place tagged herself. And she was like, who do you think you are trying to fight like if you're the champion and I'm not? This is where she starts shoving around her face. This is where Julia was like, yeah, you just did that to me. This is where she grabbed her that same hand that she shoved her with that hand. This is where she started bending it. I was like, all right, I take it back. This is where Julia was not falling for it. This is where then Roxanne's like I already won you once, and I'm not gonna ruin you twice. This is where she's like take this. This is where we got Julia then managed to dodge out of it. This is where she went for a Kimura lock, like by locking it in onto the NXT Women's Champion. This is where we got this is where she picked her up and to go for like a Kimura lock slash bear hug, but she turned into a hip suplex. This is where she tried to go for a cover, but once she did, this is where Roxanne kicks out at 2.1. This is where we got this is where we got Julia then trying to grab Roxanne, but this is where Roxanne countered, tried to do her right to the left side. This is where she tried to go for a European uppercut, which she hardly did so. And this is where she tags in Cora Jade. This is where then she started kneeing 4 years ago. And unfortunately, like one of them left and went over to the other company. Well, fortunately, they gained some out of it, while the other one is still in the company, but they haven't been doing much since losing their women's title to a certain champion that's on the main roster, which I'm not going to be getting into at this time. But they kind of give me these similar vibes from them. The only thing different is they're not like 3 years apart. Like rather than they're like the same age, like at the age of 23, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but this is where we got Roxanne and this is where we got Roxanne and they hit a middle drop kick on to Julia. Like this is where we got Cora J try to go for a pin, but this is where Cora got denied with a 2.7 count, like by hitting double team move onto to the pretty hot mess. What's her nickname is? Julia, but this is where she gets thrown right to the left corner side ropes. This is where we got Cora J try to go for like a hidden blade back elbow. But this is where we got Julia move out of the way, hit her with the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling, the surprise roll up. But this is where we got what's her name? Kicking out of it. This is where she hits her half face breaker. This is where Cora J fell right into the corner. But this is where before she can even tag anybody, this is where we got Julia tags in Zarya. This is where Zarya step on the Cora Jade's leg. This is where Cora Jade's like, no, wait, like that cannot be who. And this is where then she realized it was the Australian wrestler. This is where she starts screaming out, no, and this is where she ends up getting back suplex. She gets sent right back into her corner, tagging in JC Jane. This is where I was like, if I was JC Jane, I would be tagging like any of her teammates that's available right now, because like I don't think you should be in this ring to to her with her, like that could potentially go after for the NXT Women's Championship, like her now fellow Australian women's wrestler, the Eradicator, that's on the main roster. And again, I want to wish her all the well wishes for her speedy recovery. Like and like in this a very unfortunate time, but this is where we got Zarya, the Irish whip JC Jane from the right side to the left side. She tried to go for a clothesline right onto to the fatal influence member, but this is where she ducks, went right back to the right side, goes for a sliding Hurricane Rana, but where we got Zarya was still hanging on to her, and this is where she tried to go for a powerbomb or turn it into a firewoman's carry, let me rephrase that, to a F10, but this is where we got but this is where we got her teammate, what's her name, Fallon Henley, was there for the save to make sure she does not get F10. But this is where then Zarya was like, oh yeah, like how about you take it, Fallon? This is where it's like, no, like back off. And this is where we got all the women like came in like along with Jasmine Nix, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade, and then the baby faces Jordan Grace, Kalani Jordan, not Zarya, she was already in the ring. Stephanie Vaquer and Julia came in. They were face to face with the other women, right, from each other. That's where they started shouting and yelling at each other. That's where they started throwing fists at each other, fighting it out. Started all over again with Booker T wishing that the homeless man and the hurricane was there to watch with him and eat some popcorn and candy together, like as like spectating buddies, I guess you could say, because normally they do so like when they're in the performance center in Orlando, but the thing was they were in the 2300 ECW arena, like, and this is where the women were slugging it out and fighting it out, like if it's Dragon Ball Z Kai, like the other women earlier, and yeah, this is another sign that the NXT women's division really is the most prestigious and the best division in not only all of WWE, but overall in professional wrestling, which I hope the other company can compete against this. And I sure hope that hopefully NXT does go back to Wednesdays, because this will be so fun to talk about both this company and the other one, like especially with both of their women's division. I mean, that's not the only reason why I'm watching it, but it's the one of the reasons why. Like next to other things that's going on from both shows, like because I was even a huge fan of this, like back from 2019 to 2021 for both shows being on Wednesdays. I was kind of sad when it was the end of NXT was at its end on Wednesdays, and they've been on Tuesdays ever since then, back in 2021. Because of the reason why was the other company was beating them in ratings, but everybody was preferring them more than NXT. But it seemed like nowadays it's the other way around, because there's new management and regime in WWE, and WWE are making it more interesting than ever before. But yeah, this is where we got the baby faces sending the heels under the outside, like with Julia taking care of Cora Jade, while Stephanie Vaquer with Roxanne Perez, Kalani Jordan with Fallon Henley, and JC Jane and Jasmine Nix was taken care of by the big women of Big Mama Pump Jordan Grace and Zarya right on the outside. Right after they hit some strikes on the dim, this is where we got Julia to hit a boot right to Roxanne's face, while Stephanie Vaquer did the double meteor knees to the face onto Cora Jade. I wonder where she got that from. Maybe she should ask maybe we should ask Stephanie Vaquer, like, is it from the girl that she lost her particular women's championship to, and she's also the idol of Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, but I'm not going to get into, because, like I said, I might have already talked about this women's wrestler in the other company over in the other side of the pond, which I made a review of earlier. Make sure to check it out. But this is where we got both Zarya and Jordan Grace tossed Roxanne Perez right into the left side, saying like, "Time to take out the trash." Where this is where we got all the women that are international stars, Zarya and Stephanie Vaquer and Julia. Well, I'm not sure about Jordan Grace. Like she's been wrestling on TNA lately. Like, and the reason why she is in NXT right now is because of the partnership that TNA finally has with WWE these days. But this is where Kalani Jordan going up right up on the top rope, hits a moonsault like if she was her own version of Io Sky, like knocking every woman out. This is where did she hanging on the posing, like I'd say like this is where then she took a line out of the this certain particular wrestler that used to wrestle in WWE that's now in the other company that was wrestling in a 6-man tag match earlier. Like catchphrase is where she said, "Let's go, baby!" And then this where then the rest of the women were like, "Yeah, like that was pretty impressive. Like we need to get we totally where we got." But that's where we got what was it? It was it Jasmine Nix? It was Jasmine Nix and Kalani Jordan was going to happen. This is where we got Kalani Jordan and hit her with a wheelbarrow roll up once the adverts was over. But this is where she gets pushed right on the outside. I believe she tags in Cora Jade. This is where we got all the heels nearly gone at it with the baby faces. But this is where we got JC Jane did a sneaking attack by going for a cannonball. This is where we got both Stephanie Vaquer and Julia confronted her about. They're like, "What are you doing? Like, you're not supposed to be wrestling. What's her name? Kalani Jordan at this time." This is where Julia. I'm not like I'm just. Like I'm just, what I'm doing here, like, is making sure that she's not trying to attack me. Like I'm just trying to flip right out of her way, but she ended up tripping and must have fell on the banana peel, like because I did not touch her, like not even a single, not even a single fingertip onto her skin or even hair. This is where we got, but this is where she told her like, but her assistant is gonna be touching y'all, like, and it's not gonna be in a good way, and then that's exactly what. Jasmine Nix did. She had a suicide dive onto both Stephanie Vaquer and Julia right into the corner. This was like, like this is where they both were in the concrete ramp onto the floor. This is where then we got what's her, their fellow influence teammate found him. We was shouting and rooting for